how's it going? I'm IlaGolden and welcome to my blog. Okay, alright, so last time we talked about characters that I created that I'm particularly fond of. And this time, in the second part, I promised, we're going to be talking about other people's characters that I enjoy and have particular fondness for. Um, So this is a little bit of me fangirling. Kind of makes sense because I originally wanted to do another fanfluation this week, but I'm going to be doing this instead. So it's sort of a fan flu, but not a fan flu. All right, so I decided that some of the characters I'm going to talk about are from series that I've mentioned in previous fanfluations, and some of them from different things. It's going to be three again because three is a nice little number. So I guess I should get on with it then, right? So I'm going to start off with a character that has recently come into my knowledge that I've recently come across, that I just became quite enamored with throughout the book series that I was reading, and it's the book series that my dear friend Jade got for me for my birthday, and it's this book series. I don't know if the book series is called Half or not. It's not exactly clear if the series has an overarching title or not, so that's why I've done this rather than try to guess at what the series is called. But yeah, you sort of have a good look. These are the books that I'm talking about. And the character from them that I want to talk about is Gabriel. From like the moment he sort of shows up, there's just something about his character. It's engaging, it's interesting, there's a little bit of a mystery there, and then you sort of learn more about him, and as the series goes on, he became the character I cared about the most. He was a character I was kind of the most excited to sort of see the interactions with him and stuff like that, and in a lot of ways it makes sense. I think you're kind of supposed to. And I know there is another book in the series, or a spin-off book in the series which just focuses on this particular character, and at some point I do want to get that and read that because I think I would quite enjoy it. But in terms of why I like his character, I think because he encapsulates the level of greatness that I like about characters. The fact that he's not necessarily a good guy, he's not necessarily a bad guy, he's just a guy in the situation that he's in, dealing with the situation that he's dealing with, and he has a good sense of humour, but he's not the comic relief character by any means. I think, in a lot of ways, he's much more the heart of the story than any of the other characters, and he's balanced in being so. He doesn't flat out agree with everything that Nathan, the main character, does. He's loyal nonetheless, and there's something sort of very real about him and very likable about him, even though he's not necessarily the nicest person in the world. And yeah, I know. As I said, I just became very enamored with his character, and I very much enjoyed enjoyed the book series because his character was in it. I think much more so than any of the other characters, although there are a lot of good characters within the series. And yeah, yeah. As I said, I have every intention at some point of picking up the spin-off book and learning a bit more about his character and stuff. Because he is the best character in the book, in my opinion. Obviously, other people might read it and go, no, actually, like this character more, no, actually, like that character more. But for me, he was my favourite book, like, very much so. Okay, so moving on. The second character I now want to talk about is Paradox from Steven Universe. So as I'm pretty sure I've spoken about Steven Universe in one of my previous fanfluations. I think it's either the first or the second fanflu that I talked about Steven Universe and some of the reasons why I like it. it is a great show, and it's a show that, you know, has so many diverse characters and isn't necessarily 100% predictable, but you know, and any series is not going to be completely unpredictable. And I do like a lot of the characters. I mean, I've just been rewatching a whole load of episodes, just like binge watching a whole load of episodes, and like every other minute I'm going, oh my god, I love that character. Oh my god, I love that character. But I do like most of Steven Universe's characters. There are a few exceptions. There are always going to be a few exceptions. But I do like most of Steven Universe's characters. But the reason I specifically am going to Pardot is I do think she is probably my favourite character, and it's because of the arc that she gets. And I'm not going to go too much into it in case people haven't seen or aren't all caught up on Steven Universe and they might want to get into it. But I do like the kind of character that she represents. That sort of arrogant, slightly arrogant nerd, but slightly arrogant nerd who isn't necessarily being arrogant because they think, well, she does, I think she's better than people. But I don't think she's not thinking that in a sort of necessarily condescending sort of way. I think it's just, you know, it's just how she thinks. It's just how she's almost been taught to think. And you know, there's something. She, as I said, she's arrogant, but she's not arrogant in a way that makes you dislike her. She's arrogant in this way that will kind of make you go, oh, that's so cute. It's so cute you think that. And then on the other side, you know, she's got the fish out of water sort of storyline a little bit as well, and you know, those are always quite appealing if they're done well. And she's got, you know, so many moments that you're just kind of like, yeah, I really like her character. She's got a nice surrounding to her character, and you can see her grow and develop as her, you know, appearances go on and as she learns more about herself. And I think what kind of solidified it for me, because I knew I wanted to talk about Steven Universe character. That's one of the reasons why I went and binged myself some Steven Universe before doing this. But what sort of solidified for me for specifically talking about her character rather than one of the others that I really like is probably the moment when she sort of says, talking about being on Earth, that she's living there, that things are alive there, that she's living there. That idea that, you know, she's discovering things about herself, that she's learning to live, that she's learning who she is and the potential that she has, that for me kind of just tipped her over the edge, because I like that. I like people or characters who admit that they don't know everything about themselves and that there is so much room for self exploration. Even if you know who the core of you is, it doesn't mean you know everything. And you know, as I said, just watching her arc and watching her develop as a character is just so much joy. I wish there was more of her in the show. There needs to be more of her in the show. She is far too underutilized right now. But who knows? The series is still ongoing. Maybe she might start playing a bigger part. I really hope she starts playing a bigger part. Come on, she is a really good character. This is me pleading with the Steven Universe, the Creatorverse. The Steven Universe creators, more Paradox, please. Okay, so I'm gonna do something a bit weird for this third entry here. I'm gonna do Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm going to kind of explain how I became a fan of Tristan. Or Honda, if you're purist and only watch the sub versions, or if you can watch the raw versions. So, as you guys know, I have a fanfic series, the House Saga, which is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fanfic series, which there's always a link to in the description below because it's free for you guys to read, and if you just want to see what all my writing is about, that's a good way of introducing yourself to it. So when I originally started writing that series, it was fundamentally because I wanted to give Joey a bigger part. I wanted Joey to be the one to save Mai at the end of the Battle City arc. Because at that point in time, I hadn't seen it hadn't been released. The end of the Battle City arc, I hadn't seen because it hadn't been released, at least over here. So I essentially that was the story I was trying to write, and that was the story I was trying to tell. And as I was writing it, definitely once I hit university and I started doing like most of the writing of it, we also had the Noah's arc of the anime, where Tristan got turned into a robot monkey. Spoilers for those of you who haven't seen the series. And there was something about that whole situation that kind of changed how I was writing Tristan's character within the series itself. And one of the things that kind of happened was as I went back and I did all my rewrites, as I did rewrites over the years, and the major rewrite that I did before popping it onto fanfiction.net where it's currently available, kind of stemmed from that whole Tristan as monkey situation in the anime, even though that's not sort of a thing within the Tale Saga itself. It did very heavily influence kind of how I thought of the character, and I did start torturing the hell out of him emotionally and sometimes physically within my writing. And I know it sounds like a strange sort of thing to sort of say, but my version of the character made me appreciate the actual version of the character a lot more, and that was something that got emphasized a lot further when I got the manga for the what is essentially series 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh! So before the before Duelist Kingdom stuff. And manga Honda is an awesome character. And I'm going to say Honda for the manga and then Tristan for the anime from this point onwards, because Tristan in the anime form is what I know, and Honda in the manga is what I know. But there are so many amazing beats and moments with Honda's character in the manga that kind of emphasize this thing that I'd already sort of started to realize about his character, is that the dubbed version of the anime was sort of underselling him and wasn't doing him a lot of justice. And my fanfic was kind of taking a lot more influence from the root of his character, the Honda of his character. And yeah, I developed a strong appreciation for him, and I began sort of when I went back to rewatch old episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! And when I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Since, I appreciate Tristan as a character a lot more because of both the manga and because of the fanfic that I was writing, the fanfic saga, the Tale Saga, which I know sounds like a strange reason to really like a character, and it's even stranger when you think that I kind of went in to writing the Tale Saga with a yes, this is a Joey thing, and then by the end of it, kind of going, you know what, the Tale Saga is a love letter to Tristan as much as anything else. I mean, it's sort of a love letter to all of the characters, in one way or another. Certainly the first 8 books, which as I do keep saying, are I believe the stronger part of the series before the next generation part kicks in, which they're good, but they're just not as good. So yeah, and I said I know it's a weird thing to say, and it's a weird way of thinking about it, but there was something about the timing of everything. There was something about the way in which I was writing his character and the influence I then got from reading the original manga series that just made me appreciate Tristan's character in a way that I hadn't previously. And yeah, he kind of became my favourite character somehow. And I am a rare Red Tristan fan, and I know that. But yeah, there's just that combination of things, and I think sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes it's about being able to see a character in a completely different way that suddenly takes you from going, oh, that character is okay, to going, oh my god, that character is amazing. How did I not notice that before? And yeah. All right. So I think I've witted on quite long enough at this point. As I said, I do apologise for the last one for anybody who is a bit more of a purist when it comes to their anime and is cringing every single time I say Tristan. Um, but I do tend to nowadays watch more subbed than dubbed. In fact, I usually try to watch the subbed because I do know that that's the intent of the anime, and 9 times out of 10 that is the definitive version of it. Um, but I also can't ignore my roots, and my roots are a little bit less pure, and I haven't necessarily gone back to watch anything that I originally watched subbed, because for the most part, you kind of get used to the characters the way you originally see them. Having said that, there are a few series that I've enjoyed in both versions, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes you've got to enjoy things in a mixy matchy sort of way. So with that sort of apology to all you pure subbists and raw watchers out there, if you can watch it raw, seriously, I wish I could watch it raw because I don't always follow the subtitles very well. I quite often have to pause and go back so I can read it again. So yeah, learning Japanese is on my list of things I need to do, so I can appreciate anime a bit more. Um, anyway, that said and done and dusted. All right, okay. So on the next one, I think the subject is character names. A little bit maybe about how I come up with character names, and some of my favourite character names that I've come up with. Now, I know I sort of touched on this for anybody who's watched the Tips for Writers, the 4 episodes that I did. One of them was about, how you can go about naming characters, but naming characters is something that I do enjoy and that I do find quite fun, and it's something that I want to sort of call out some of my favourite character names and be like, yes, they're awesome, I love them. And this is how I came up with this, and this is why I love it. So yeah, next time, character names. I hope you guys have found this one sort of a bit fun and a bit enjoyable, and I hope you either know some of these characters, or you appreciate the characters that you appreciate. In fact, are there any characters out there you guys love and appreciate and you want to shout out and mention them in the comments below? That would be great. I love hearing about characters that people enjoy, because that enjoyment and that enthusiasm is it's there for a reason. So yeah, if you guys have got any characters that you particularly love or enjoy, just shout them out in the comment section below. Maybe say why, whether it's from any of the series that I've mentioned or not. Up to you. Just be fun to know. Alright, okay, so with that said, as I said, I hope you guys enjoy this one, and I will see you next time. See ya! If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others, and if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. See ya!